Hey everybody, it's Monster back again with Opus Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you guys a little bit of playtesting in a tournament. It's going to be my security control versus our teammate and co-host on the podcast, Eric's not security control, but he's on Royal Knight. So it's a pretty fun matchup. This is actually going to be us playing in a local tournament, and I believe this is like a round one pairing. So it's super unfortunate that we had to play each other, and the matchup is actually very, very interesting, kind of watching it go through. But before we get into it and like spoil too much, you guys already know we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not subbed, drop a sub down below. Once we do get to 1,000 subscribers, we're doing a pretty big giveaway. So the details are down there. But I really do like this matchup. It's actually very interesting because you think it's super one-sided for the Royal Knight player, but Security Control does have some pretty cool bonds and some pretty cool plays that you can make to make the matchup just a little bit better. But before I ruin everything, I'm just gonna get into gameplay right now. Let's do it. Alright, moving into the gameplay portion of the video, it's looking like Eric already did his mulligan, and I'm just going through and mulliganing and picking out my security here. So, and it also looks like we're going first as a security control player, so not the best for us, but we're going to start off just putting our opponent at 4, which can be a little bit awkward because if you only have enough reduction to play like a Magna, you have to play something else as well. But here we see Eric bringing down the Sistermon Blanc to draw 2 cards. And then I'm assuming he's going to follow it up, here with the Magna as well. So I'm going to go straight to 3, and then it goes back into my turn. Here you see me kind of looking at my hand, deciding what I want to do. I haven't accumulated enough cards yet to be like super comfortable with the play that I would like to do, but I really want to get a purple Digimon onto the board, as well as I want to put a level 5 on the board this turn as well, just so that going forward my plays can be a little bit easier, but I'm really deciding if it's something I want to do. So we do put him to 3, but we don't discard to kill the Sistermon Blanc, which we feel like is okay here just because the Sistermon Blanc isn't really a threat. It can get like 1 security check, right? But then we'll just heal it back, so. It looks like Eric's coming into his second turn, deciding what he wants to do here. I know he for sure is just going to turn the Sistermon sideways. Yep, that one's going to get security, and he gets Flame Hell Scythe right away. And that's where things get annoying, because I'm pretty sure I had another Maycrack in hand, or another level 6k body, that I could have discarded. It would have just been expensive, because it would have left me with like 4 cards in hand. But yeah, no, hitting that first check Flame Hell Scythe is always just so hard. So we Digivolve on top of the Maycrackmon, and this is actually one of my more favored interactions that the deck has. Digivolving into it into a black Seraphimon, and then we see Craniummon actually force us to attack here. So what's going to happen is Seraphimon's going to die. We get to heal 1, and then thanks to the Maycrackmon's Inheritable, we're going to gain 2 memory, which is going to push it back to our turn. We also tap card to gain another memory. So here we're going to get to put a Magna Angemon onto the board, and now you just see us recover a whole bunch of cards right there, which is really, really nice. Moving forward, it looks like Eric is kind of just doing the same thing where he's deciding what he wants to play. He wants to make sure when he does go for game, he does want to have a little bit of chip damage in, and he wants to have as many Royal Knights underneath his Yggdrasil as possible, just because he has so much time here, because it's not like I'm pushing for game. So deciding what he wants to do here, I'm assuming it'll be a go wide kind of board here, because he is on 5 memory in response to me slamming the Angemon, but we'll see. Yep, here we see him counting up those cost reductions. So here we're going to see, I believe that's, Gallantmon. It's only going to cost him 2. Gallantmon is going to pop the Magna Angemon, and then we're going to swing at security because he has Rush. He gets to check the Magna Angemon, and then he's going to go ahead and play out another Magna. So that's really fire. That was a really good play for him. Or not Magna Angemon, but a Magnamon there. Going into my turn, we're just kind of setting up, just doing all the normal stuff. We're just going to heal for with a Holy Memory, or a Holy Wave, and then tap Kari to gain a memory. So it's going to end his turn. He gets his Royal Knights back, and then he's just going to continue to build here. It's nice being able to utilize the Kari there to choke him at 1 as well. He doesn't have a lot that he can do, but playing out the All Force for free is always nice. And then he follows that up with an Omecamon. You see us reset our Kari, and then just kind of think of what we want to do here. The All Force isn't going to attack right away, but the Omecamon's going to be able to, so if I could remove it, that would be nice. Even a Flame Hell Scythe here wouldn't be too bad, but we end up just passing just because everything in our hand costs too much, and it doesn't seem like we have any low to the ground removal, so we get a check here with the Omecamon, and it's even worse because it's a Kari, because that doesn't kill the Omecamon, so we would have much rather have seen a security bomb. Eric's counting how many Royal Knights he has here because he's just waiting to. He's getting loaded. He's just waiting to fire off all his Royal Knights here. So I can see him. He's going to do one more turn of setting up, I'd assume, here, just because he doesn't want to slam something like an Omni this early. Because I do have still a pretty chunky security. It's looking like there's 5 down there right now. So you see another Sistermon come down. It's going to get him a couple additional cards. And then Omecamon comes down as well. This way, he's going to end up having 3 bodies on his board that can all stay on board and swing. So if he has to do some pretty big chip damage, he can do that. And then on his following turn, drop the Omnimon. For my turn here, it's gonna get tricky because I really have to figure out how I'm gonna navigate these cards. I can try to like Flame House Scythe a Magna Angemon. Maycrack could do it too, but I feel like with the Maycrackmon, I'm losing too many resources. So here you see him adjust, I believe. Yeah, he's gonna adjust down the memory setter because I'm deciding what I want to get. But yeah, no, we get the Magna. And then we'll tap the Kari again here once we recover to set our opponent to 1 again. So another turn of some pretty good memory manipulation, just getting our opponent to choke at 1, even coming as a security control player is very, very difficult, but it's nice to see here. So Omegamon's going to swing into security and hit a Venusmon. We're going to swing into security again. This time we're hitting another Tamer, and I must have forgot to tap the Kari there, which is unfortunate. Yep, and then we just play the Belphemon for free. Belphemon's gonna slot 1 underneath, make it so I'm slightly floodgated, and then we just play out another Digimon. So not too big of a deal. We would have just been at 4 this turn instead of 3. I don't think I would have made too much of a deal if I tapped the Kari, but it's still rough for getting things like that. Here, he still has a wide board, and it's not like I can do very much. So I'm just kind of thinking of what the best play is. So I swing at the Digimon here, which is totally fine. And then we just gotta pick a play here. We're definitely we're only playing 1 card this turn. So playing the Holy Wave here, tapping the Mimi, gain a memory, we recover, and then we tap Kari and gain a memory too. So this is another turn that our opponent is just getting set at 1, and we're just kind of going through the paces, setting up our field and everything for hopefully a pretty good some pretty good security bombs. The thing with Royal Knights versus security controls, it's all about the life. Depending on how many bombs you have in there is how much of a chance you have at bouncing back afterwards. So this turn, we don't forget the purple Kari, which is really nice. He decided to save his Belphemon as well at the start of turn, so that's very scary. He's just forcing those chips, and we saw him force a security bomb there as well with that Wyvern's Breath. So that brings us down to, looks like 3 security, and we're going to get a Genkumon out with a Gallantmon, and then we're going to force a swing right away. He pops the Magna Angemon and hits a Flame Hellscythe, so I'm just going to bring back the same Magna Angemon, and then we're going to get the recovery back again. So not too bad. We didn't take too much damage, even though our opponent pushed a little bit. And he's not going to have both those Digimon on board at the start of the next turn, so here we're in a position where we can start to set up some pretty decent recovery. We'll see if Eric's ready to fire off his set yet, but the first thing we're going to do for the turn is we're going to probably tactical retreat this her Heresiemon so we can start a turn at 1 memory higher. So we'll tap 1, play with the Mimi, play out the tactical retreat, and put Heresiemon into security, and we tap Kari to gain a memory. We'll see if we end up just slamming like a Magna Angemon to put our opponent at 3 and get another recovery on top of that. Wouldn't be too bad of a play. Still deciding what I want to do here, though. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, yeah, and we do slam the Magna. So Magna comes down, we recover, and it's just the same situation where we're just trying to have enough security bombs in there, hopefully, to stave off a really big, really wide board. So we'll see how it goes. Here, Eric's deciding. I think he's just really deciding on if he wants to go for it this turn or not. I do have 5 security still, so it's like all the chip damage that he did is basically nothing, but I would have like 10 security right now if he wasn't swinging so aggressively, so we do go for it here. So we're going to play it on the Omnimon. Omnimon's going to be free, and he brings out all of his Royal Knight friends. And Eric's just going through, making sure that he's not doubling up on any of them, but it's looking pretty good for him. So far, we see Alforce Magna. I can't tell what the first card is because of the glare, but Kintaurismon comes out, Galmon comes out, Leopardmon comes out, and Genku comes out as well. And then here we're just going to start, you just start turning things sideways. Oh, wait, no, you have to resolve all of the on-play effects here, which is a big deal for sure. So we get a Magnum back to hand, which is nice. I think he's slotting for like an Belphemon, probably. Oh, no, he's looking at the Sistermon. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, that should be everything. It does have a Craniumon back there as well. We start off with the Contour swing. Contourus is going to swing and take the top of our life to restand itself. So it just increases the amount of damage that we're taking this turn, which is just unfortunate. So we're going to get to minus 12k from something here with the Long Key. Long Key would have been perfect if it was just the next card. If it was the next card, it would have been so much more effective on the turn, but unfortunate. So we see Contour swing again. And I think we're just asking maybe about power here. Oh no, it's the Heresymon. So we're taking away a security check from something. He swings the Omni. Omni hits a Digimon. I tap my Kari because I forgot. We hit another Digimon after that. And then the last check from Digimon is just going to be a Kari, and then he has an additional swing there to finish the game out. So unfortunate ending there. I think that it was going his way kind of the whole way through, but it was just kind of unfortunate that we had so many Digimon in our security and just no security bombs. So here we see going into game 2, it's going to start off on Eric's side, so we're opting to go second so we don't have to just put our opponent at 4 in the first turn. And we see a Magna come down, and then we respond to the Magna coming down with a Holy Wave. So just very standard plays from both sides here for the beginning of the game. Omnimon's going to get the draw. And we're just going to play the resource game here. So we're going to bring down the Dynasmon to get another Royal Knight to hand. And here he can pick up whatever. They're all pretty good in this matchup, but he opts to pick, let's see what it is here. I think it's Lord Knightmon and Belphemon, which is totally fine. And then just thinking about what he wants to follow up here. And then we play down the Tamer here. So we're going to put us back to 4. Puts us in a decent place if we do want to make some pretty big plays. Like here, we can Tactical Retreat to start things off to go down to 3. And then we still have some room to play a card like a Tamer or maybe a not as much cost option, but we'll see. Not as highly costed option, I should say. Here we opt to play a very high cost option and play the Long Key. We'll remove the Royal Knight from board so he doesn't have an additional attacker later when he drops that Omnimon, which is nice. But it does put him in a lot of memory. We'll see if he's able to utilize the memory really well here, but we'll just see. He's kind of chilling, thinking about what his options are here. It's probably going to be a resource kind of Royal Knight. So, yep, it's going to be a Lord Knightmon. Lord Knightmon gets one out of the trash, and then we pass. He doesn't want to put me to like 10 memory, I guess, by playing that Lord Knightmon and getting the immediate value. And then we do put him at like 10 by slamming it. He's Black Seraphimon. The thing I like about Black Seraphimon is that he's very slammable, just because he gets such good value on removing a card on board and recovery, as well as the D-Digivolve, so your opponent doesn't want to swing into you as much. But the thing that is unfortunate here is that he loses like half of his value because Royal Knights, they just don't have anything to D-Digivolve, but also even playing against things like the Belphemon, where it just can't be removed, that's just super unfortunate, as well as the cards that can't be affected by your cards, like, or just the Craniumon that can be affected. So you can't minus all the DP when you do delete it. So here's going to get bounced back to hand with the All Force, and then we see a Purge come down. Oh no, I'm sorry, that wasn't a Purge, it was a Dynasmon. So here, just thinking about my decisions here, and with, you would think that I would just slam the Black Seraphi again, but with not being up to D-Digivolve, it's just super, super unimpactful, unfortunately. So I think we're going to go for the two-stage setup. We're going to play the Makerakmon this turn for a 6, and then on our next turn, for sure, we're going to be Digivolving that, if it survives, into the Black Seraphimon. That way, when Black Seraphimon dies, we'll gain 2 memory. So we'll see if he responds with the same Craniumon that he did before. Craniumon is just really, really hard for the Black Seraphimon lock to get set up. So this is where we see the Purge come down, and then he's just thinking about what he wants to follow it up with. He's thinking about how much reduction he has for the turn. So yep, it'll just be the Craniumon. And Craniumon makes this super difficult here because we'll be able to Digivolve. That Makrakmon is for sure going to be swinging here though. So Craniumon's going to force a swing. It's only 12k, so it's going to die. And then I get my 2 memory back, which is going to choke him at 1. But I do get the recovery here. So it's the same thing as playing a Holy Wave or slamming a Magna. And it's just way less expensive because we get to Digivolve and draw a card as well. So it's just not free for our opponent. Here we do have a pretty tall security stack, which is really nice. So that's exactly what you want to do in this matchup, is just continue to build that security stack and just hope there's as many bombs in there as possible so that you can play the bombs out of your hand and just make a really big impact on the game state. But here we see a million Royal Knights underneath there, so that's a lot of attacks. Never mind a Kentaurismon attacking twice and a Gallimon getting it trashed on swing, so... And we're just going to play out the Sistermon. He's looking for whatever his last piece that he wants is, as well as having an additional attacker on board here. So on my side, I know that I'm not going to do very much on this turn. I'm not super developed, and a lot of my cards are in security right now, so I haven't gotten that like Heresiemon back to my hand from the very start of the game or anything like that. So we're just going to play out the Matt. Matt's going to get us back a Makrakmon, which is unfortunate. We were hoping to get something else back, but Matt's going to grab us Makrak, and then we slam the Makrak here. 4 memory was a bit awkward, but we just didn't have any other plays, so we're going to see the Makrak get outed right away. And then, yep, we're going to swing with a Rush with Gallant. And then he just hits a Digimon, and then here we see the swing into the Heresiemon, and it's unfortunate that he had the perfect 2 Digimon to swing there, right? So you swing the Gallant, take whatever, but then if you're able to swing with the second Digimon, you basically avoid Heresiemon getting any value here, so that's a pretty big deal. And he has a ton of memory, so he's just really thinking about what he wants to do. He could just slam a Royal Knight here and not be at all in a bad position. Omekamon comes down, we get the draw, and then we see a Sistermon Blanc. Super good play on his part. We get set to 3, and we put the Heresiemon into raising again, just getting some of our engine going again. We'll see what we decide to do here, actually. Oh, we play a Death Xmon, that's right. So playing the Death Xmon here clears 3 bodies, I believe, and it was actually very cheap because he had so many cards on the board for that turn, which is just not like Royal Knights at all. So we have to take that advantage that we can there and just slam the Death X here. Also puts him in a position, too, where he doesn't want to necessarily go for game just because Death X will kill a bunch of cards at the same time. So now he's forced to out the Death X and then go for his play, but pretty easy out when you can just play the... Yep. When you can just play the Gallant, and Gallant can raid into him. Here we're discussing something. I'm assuming he's explaining that, like, well, Gallimon comes out and pops, and then he can swing. I just wasn't sure. Eric's doing a really good job of just keeping the game going, though. He's just not doing too much. And he's just making sure that he's just setting up to safely go for game. If you've noticed, this version of the deck doesn't swing at our opponent at all. So our opponent's at 5 security. What we really want to do is mill our opponent out, but with Royal Knights not getting that consistent draw and not building those different Digimon stacks, it's pretty hard to deck them out. So we're really, really, really going for the long game here. Heresiemon comes up and is just kind of chilling. I know that we need it for an option in hand, but we'll see if we make a misplay and possibly swing with it first. Nope. We don't. We tacked it first. Back to our life. And then we just kind of think of what we want to do here. And we decide to pass instead of playing the, I think that was a Wyvern's Breath we saw in hand. It might have been good to play the Wyvern's Breath. Getting the level 6 out of there is just really nice, even though a lot of times Omniumon is just going to have enough swings to make it through. But he's taking the challenge now. So we are sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 life right now. Sorry, my recording stuff is just like on top of my life right now, so I can't see it very well. But he's just taking the challenge. So we'll see how many bombs we have in here. If we can hit like the first couple being on bomb, it's really, really nice, but we'll see. He has a crazy wide board because he's been able to stack just a ridiculous amount of Digimon under there. And we're going to see him go through and resolve all the win summons in just a second here. So Belphemon gets his. I think he declared an effect that he actually just doesn't have on the board right now. So he's just like, oh, wait, I can't even do this. So Going through, getting all of his ducks in order, just so he can start turning cards sideways. And I know everything's huge here on Jijimon, but we might have made a misplay here, so we'll see. We see a swing here from Nightmon. We're going to give, like, Jijimon, I'm assuming, the minus security check. After that, Dynasmon swings. Tactical Retreat will recover. Magna swings. Yep, and it's a Digimon. We see Craniumon swing. This time it's a Heresiemon, so it's going to be the second Digimon that gets Sec -1. We see Omnimon get the Sec -1. All fours will swing. We see Akari come down. These are not the bombs that we're looking for, though. We hit 2 Maycrackmons. We did hit a couple Heresiemons, but we do want to see more of the removal bombs, not just like the stalling your opponent out bombs. So even though we hit the Flame Hellscythe here, it just doesn't feel very impactful. So we hit the Flame Hellscythe, Magna recovers, he swings, he hits another Flame Hellscythe. So the Magna is going to be -12 here. And I think we actually make a mistake here because Magna should come out, or Maycrack should come out and be able to give it a total of -15. And I'm not sure if his board is wide enough with that Jijimon to be that high, but we talk about it, and I mean, it just doesn't really matter too much. He does say that I'm not going to be able to pop it because it's so big, but I remember that we didn't do the math here, so I'm not sure how it maths out. So I ended up just taking it back and just saying whatever, and just playing the Maycrack vanilla. And then he's just in a position here where he's going to have to just put a body on board. But we're in a rough position here for sure because we took all of our security bombs and nothing outed any of his cards. Yeah, I don't think we saw a long key or anything. So we were really hoping to just get like a couple Chaos Eggs or like a Wyvern's Breath or a long key in there. But no such luck here. So we're going to use the -4 from Leopardmon to -4. And then we just play out the Magna. And it's going to choke us, or not choke us because we have a Memory Tamer here. But here we see us try to do the best things that we can. There's a couple plays that we do have, and I think that we go with one of them here, but ultimately it doesn't matter because we see an interesting interaction here. So Venusmon comes down, gives everything minus security check, but then Craniumon will force it to swing. Even though it can't swing at life because of the Belphemon, it can still swing at different Digimon. So it's still forced to swing. It's going to swing at something. Everything is going to be plus, so everything's bigger than it. And on top of that, Venusmon doesn't read that it can't battle another Digimon. It just reads that it can't be attacked by another Digimon with security minus or plus. So that's unfortunate. We lose the Venusmon right away, so we can't do anything on top of it. Everything's -1 security, so he does swing here, but it just doesn't matter. So it just stalls us 1 turn. So we'll see if he outs the Maycrackmon, if we're able to Venusmon again, and he does. And that's what's really important here. So he is able to swing at security and activate raid, even though I have the Venusmon on board. So just, yeah, that part doesn't matter. Or the Venusmon effect on board. So, yeah, he just plays out a simple Digimon. I get the draw. I could raise up, but we'll see. Actually, I think I do raise up. We go, yep. And here we just want to see like something that'll stall. So if we can get a bunch of stall cards, that would be great. But we use Heresiemon's Inheritable Egg to get a draw beforehand. And that's just the end of the game. Seeing 2 Magnamons there, that's just, that's the wrap of it. So I hope everybody enjoyed the gameplay. It was a super interesting match. I know that a lot of people aren't on security control right now, and I think that it does have legs, but a lot of people are scared of that matchup. So before I talk for too long, this is BT13 with Opus Gaming, but I'm out. Take care.